This brings me to another important point, which is, we rush in our careers like it is like we are in a 100 meters race. Our career is not race, and if we don't enjoy the process of becoming a professional, then destinations will not matter. One fine day you will become a manager or leader or director of a company, but you will not enjoy being there because you have not enjoyed the process. So one of the best gifts we can give to ourselves is to enjoy the work while we are still doing it. And so you have to be in the moment, and you don't have to be too anxious about results. Results are important, but if you enjoy the process of doing something, if you think a lot about how to do it well, results will automatically follow. I think results are byproduct of doing something well.
Exactly.
Yeah. So your career is not a race, and you don't need to rush about it. So I heard a very interesting quote which says that in a rat race, even if you win, you are still a rat.
Okay.
So you can be a professional who is very anxious, who is moving fast in his career and all that, but at the end of the day, if you don't enjoy, then there is no point in doing
it's
anything.
not always the destination.
It's always not the destination. Yeah.
It's journey.
Yeah, which is very important.
Yeah.
So goals are important to achieve, but what you become as in the process of achieving your goals is very important, because most people say that we do our work. I am doing this work, but it's reverse. Your work is doing something to you,
Exactly.
and it is very important to realize what your work is doing to you.
Vice versa.
It's a vice versa. So hard work is mandatory. I don't need to say this anymore because most people know this. But depending on your luck is a lame strategy. Most people say that if my luck shines, I will get a job. I don't think that's true, because the luck is not in your hands. What is in your hand is your ability to do work, your ability to think differently, your ability to work hard. So luck is not in your control, but hard work is. Remember this, that don't depend on luck for anything in your life. If it happens, you can attribute it to luck, but hard work is more important than luck. So don't count the hours of work, but count what you do in those hours. Which brings me to important point, which is we live in the world of projects. So you should not wait for somebody else to give you the work and then you just execute it. You should not be the order taker. You have to initiate new things. You have to start new projects. It could be personal project like writing a short ebook, submitting your white paper to some knowledge body.
A very nice suggestion.
Anything. It could be it could be starting a magazine in your own college. It could be handling the notice board in your career. But start something. Volunteer for things that value to you, because ultimately in initial years of your career, your goal is not to earn money quickly, which unfortunately a lot of students say that I want to get 20,000 salary, 50,000 salary. Your goal is not to do that. Initially your goal is to invest, to learn, and you can only do that when you subscribe to interesting projects, not just wait for somebody to give you work. So alternative pursuits, as I call it, they keep us creative and sharp-minded. Volunteer for great projects that you believe in, as I said, and contribute. Do more of that work. Get into it and see how it works, and that is how you learn. So personal projects are very important. I started my blog as a personal project, and through my blog I got my book deal. I got speaking engagements. I grew as a professional because I was blogging. Blogging by itself did not give me any money. It was a non-profit kind of pursuit. I just loved doing it. I kept doing it.
Whatever I know about you until now, I have observed one thing. I might be wrong, but blogging is something which has introduced you to you.
That is so true.
Isn't it?
That is so true.
I mean, whenever you talk about your blogging, even personal talks, whenever you have mentioned about your blogging, I always feel something that you are so much fascinated about the whole thing, and that has introduced you to the world, rather, and to yourself at the same time.
That is so true.
Because you have started so many other activities because of the habit of blogging, isn't it?
And so it is a personal project. It's a pet project. So I would ask you one thing: what pet projects are you working on today, and how will it help you, define your career? Very important question that you need to think about and answer. So don't be afraid of making mistakes, because when you experiment, when you learn, you're going to make mistakes. People will say you are foolish. People will say that you're insane. Don't worry about them, because being insane is good in this world. Being slightly eccentric, being slightly on a different edge than others is always true. You don't have to follow the conventional rules that others have set for you. You can set your own rules and work with it. So every mistake is a stepping stone, and making mistakes is fine. I personally believe that it's fine if you make mistakes as long as you don't repeat the same mistakes again. Which means that you make mistakes, learn from them, and move on. Right? That is the only way I know to learn quickly, is to make more mistakes. Find a mentor. A mentor is somebody who is a catalyst in your growth. In a chemical reaction, a catalyst does not participate in the reaction, but the presence of catalyst accelerates the chemical reaction. That is the fundamental in chemistry. So in our careers, if you have somebody who guides you, who shares his or her experience with you, and helps you navigate in your career, nothing like it. I personally have so many mentors that have helped me in different aspects of my own life so far, and some of those mentors I have never met, I have never seen. For example, one of my mentors is an individual called Mr. Rajesh Sethi. He lives in US, and we only talk to each other through our blogs, our emails. We call each other once in a while, but the beautiful thing is we are such good friends, and we have never met each other personally.
Yeah, you're right.
So he's my mentor. He guides me. He helps me. He clarifies my thinking process. So a mentor, is very important in your career. If you want to succeed quickly and learn from others' mistakes, I would suggest find somebody who is your guru, somebody who is your mentor as far as your career or professional life
And
is concerned.
sometimes to add into it, sometimes we come across our mentors by reading different books.
That's
when
right.
you feel fascinated towards the book, when you start liking his ideas and ideologies, and you feel that he is somebody you can follow.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you start following, knowingly or unknowingly. This is
That's
sometimes
true.
subconscious also.
That is true.
So that is also one of the
So
mentors.
Robin Sharma says that you should hire your personal board of directors.
Exactly.
And board of directors consist of people
Wow.
like Gandhi
Very nicely
and people
put.
like
Very nicely
those
put.
authors are your personal board of directors. They will
Exactly.
guide you in different situations in your life.
એન્શિયન્ટ ટાઈમ્સમાં આપણે વાત કરીએ અને વધારે
Yeah.
સિમ્પલ કરીએ તો દ્રોણાચાર્ય વાળી જે વાત છે આખી.
Exactly.
હા, તો એ પણ એ જ હતું ને
Yeah.
કે કદાચ એને એલાઉ નહોતો કર્યો
Yeah.
સ્કૂલમાં
So
એની સ્કૂલમાં આવવા
he
માટે.
stayed away and from a
એકલવ્ય.
distance.
Exactly. અને છતાં બી
Yeah.
so that way.
Excellent. So thanks for adding that important
Oh,
point.
thank you. I should be thanked.
Yeah. So another important point is learning to say no, because now you can do so many things, but the fact that you can do so many things doesn't mean you have to do it, which means you have to ruthlessly prioritize. If I can do these 10 things very nicely, I would just cut 7 of them and say I will just do these 3 things, because the idea is to not do more work on more number of priorities. The idea is to do more work on less number of priorities, and then do it so well, so differently, that you can put your complete energy and effort into that particular thing. So every no is a yes to something else. So if I say no to an average job offer, it could possibly be a yes to a great offer. So when you say no, be firm and polite. You don't have to insult people. You don't have to say no and reject it ruthlessly. You can be firm and polite and say, this does not fit into my priorities, so I don't think I'll be able to pursue this. So you should say no to unproductive tasks. Say no to Facebook when you're working. Say no to temptation to check your emails when you're reading a book. These are the things you should say no to when you want to really focus on your goals. Simplify your life so that your efforts, your energies are more directed. Know what is important for you, and then say a big yes to it. Saying no is important, but saying a big yes is very important, because when you say big yes, it demonstrates a different sort of commitment and faith and belief that whatever you are doing, it's going to give results. So say big yes and commit yourself 120% to what you are doing.
Exactly.
That's the idea. Be disciplined, and Mr. Sarvaiya said in a while back that when you pursue classical music, you may not like the process of learning
Initially.
those ragas and initially, right? But you still have to do that hard work. That
Exactly.
grunt work is still required. Even if whatever, when I say do what you love doing, you will not always love 100% of that work. There will be 30, 40, 50% of work which will be routine, monotonous, boring. It will be grunt work. But unless you develop the discipline to do that grunt work, you will never be able to succeed. When you write a book,
Wow.
writing is a creative process, but then packaging a book, marketing it, selling it to the readers, making sure that the book reaches right people is grunt work. It is not creative work, but it still needs to be done because your book has to be successful. So you should, and then discipline also means that then you need to stop wasting excessive time on things that don't add value. For example, a lot of people spend a lot of time on those chai kitlis, talking about everything which is not useful. Cut that time. I have friends who have stopped reading newspapers in the morning because they say reading newspaper first thing in the morning, kills the morale for the rest of the day. Because it is, I might use that time to read a good book, read a good blog, and so maximize your time is what it means. So you have to be tough on yourself. You have to say that if I want to be lean and mean and if I want to have a good health, I have to go for a walk every day in the morning. Now you have to be tough on yourself and you have to inspect what you expect. How many days in the month did I actually go for walk, and so on. So inspect what you expect is the rule. So successful people have habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. Difficulties are opportunities. So you will face a lot of difficulties in your life, but treat them as opportunities. Why would we work hard? Why would people be learning new things if everything in life was easy? It is not. So when you face difficulties, treat them as opportunities, because difficulties shape us in our lives. Comfort may not help us grow, but difficulties will always help us think differently and grow. Collaborate with others. If you are in a college, start a small group that focuses on one subject. Have group discussions and discussions. Explore, dig deeper, do some research, share your findings with your friends. These are all ways to collaborate with people. Identify people who you know in the industry, talk to them, seek guidance, ask for help, and find out the ways you can learn more about that particular subject. Which brings me to important point, which is managing your time. Everybody has 24 hours in a day, and we need to use them well. So set up a schedule. That means I personally have a schedule that from 5:30 or 6 in the morning to 8 in the morning, when disturbance is minimal, phone calls are less, I read a book, I spend time writing books, and that is a ritual that I have followed for last 2 years, and it has really helped me in my life. So stick to that schedule, and routines are a powerful way to commit to our own selves, that every day I'm going to do this, and then you just have to just do it. So time is the most precious commodity we all have as human beings. So network is your net worth, which means that if you know a lot of people, a lot of influential people, that helps you in your career. You become more like those who you surround yourself with. So if I have good friends, if my network has friends who are aligned to my priorities, then I naturally grow with those friends. You have to choose a good company of people who can amplify your capacity. So when you build a network, you don't build it to chit chat, right? You build a network so that your capacity is amplified, increased. So good friends, good company, good collaboration with others, and good network helps you find people who can amplify your capacity to deliver more. So meet new people, talk to them, go to seminars, find common acquaintances who are working in your area of work, and seek their guidance. And do not hesitate to ask for help, because you only get what you ask for. So give good help and ask for good help. Which brings me to the next point, which is, if you want to help is a two-way road. So if I want somebody's help, I should first help somebody. So you have to have a very generous mindset about helping others. And it is okay to be different. Tom Peters says that if you are not distinct, you will be extinct. If you want to do anything worthwhile in your life, then stop worrying about what others think about you. Just avoid herd mentality. Herd mentality is that do what everybody else is doing. That's not a safe strategy here. Stay inspired. So when things don't go as planned, you need to get some inspiration. So talk to your parents, read inspiring quotes. You can watch a good movie. Movies have tremendous power to inspire, provided you watch right movies.
Exactly.
Travel. Just walk. Do whatever inspires you, but stay away from negativity when things don't go right. So I said experimentation is critical for learning. Try things out, see if it works, and you learn that way. Focus on your strengths. We all have weaknesses, but focusing on our weaknesses does not take us anywhere. We need to
that will improve our weaknesses rather. Too much focusing on the weakness. So better to focus on
strengths. So while you are working towards eliminating your weaknesses, don't focus too much on them. Your weaknesses are there, accept them, and move on with it. Develop your strengths. That is how you will build a career. You have to build an attitude. Remember, in corporate world, we don't hire based on a person's ability. We hire on a person's attitude and how he is able to handle different situations. So your abilities you can be taught. You can acquire knowledge. Somebody can help you with your knowledge, but attitude, you bring your attitude with you. So a person either has it or he does not have it. You cannot teach how to have a great attitude. So industry needs people today who have can-do, positive attitude.
Exactly.
Positive attitude. So work on your attitude, and finally build a great resume.
Wow.
So your resume is your entry point. It's your marketing collateral. And in modern world, a resume is not just a standard 2-page document with those sections of academic excellence and all that. You have to make it very different, make it meaningful, and show what value you are adding to the organization. So you can use tools like LinkedIn to build your profile, your blog, your Twitter, your projects, and all of that. Include that in your resume and leverage it. So these are 26 essential strategies that I say A to Z of building a great career and succeed in life. For more information on all of this, you can visit my blog at www.qaspire.com. You can refer to my book, which is titled Quality Tweet. You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is at TNVora. And you can join our Facebook community called QAspire. And you can always send me an email at tanmay.vora@gmail.com.
So, friends, I'm pretty sure that at the end of this 26 beautiful tips, I have felt myself thoroughly satisfied, and I'm equally sure that same is the case with you as well. Tanmay bhai, I would just like to mention one small thing. Your presentation was not only lucid and it was so interesting. At the same time, you put them in a very natural mode, and that is something which is really I need to appreciate it at the end of it.
Thank you so much.
Your humble attitude and the time you have spared with us, and I'm sure that this is going to benefit the student fraternity of Gujarat, and this is something which is very precious to us. So we very warmly and on behalf of all the students and teachers of Gujarat, I would like to thank you for coming to the studio, and we wish that you will definitely get some responses from the addresses you have given to our students. Friends, feel free to give your feedback anytime to Sandhan, and as you know, the email address